Hey everybody, Frank here. Before we get too far, I just wanted to step in and let you know a few things. First of all, the audio in this recording is not our best. We are still doing the at home thing, and we actually have a guest on in this one, and the mic quality is not necessarily what we would want. Uh, we are going to continue to record from home until COVID is on the very down slope. We have some high risk folks in our group with newborns and one's pregnant, and so it's best that we all record from home, and we really appreciate your guys' patience with that. We have this wonderful studio with great mics sitting in my house, and where everybody's using, Yetis and less than great quality mics. So we really appreciate the help. Also, we wanted to give a shout out to a brand new patron, Bearded Buddha. Great name, love that choice of name. Thank you so much for your patronage. We really appreciate that. Another thing, we revamped that website. We mentioned it last week. We just want to throw it out there again. The website's totally changed and brand new and fancy. I've heard news that it's, the best in town, that, Google watch out, stuff like that. You guys might want to give it a look. We're going to start posting on that and our social medias much more now. We had a bit of a 2-week craziness schedule wise. But we're starting to get back to the normal schedule this week. So look to social media. We're going to start putting out who would win in the fights and the pick threes and a little bit more engagement on social media and start livening that thing up. Try to create more conversation. And yeah, any kind of feedback you guys want to give us, we greatly appreciate. We always try to highlight any of the reviews that we get, and we love those. And we just really want to say, above all, thank you so much for listening. The numbers have proven that you guys are here strong and growing audience, and that makes us feel so wonderful. So super thanks for listening, and we really hope you guys enjoy the show. And let us know what you guys think afterwards. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and I promise to get better at Facebook. And we'll see you guys around. Hey all, and welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today we're with Squeaks.
Squeaks.
And Sammy.
What's up, everybody?
All right, guys. We're going to start things off by talking about our poll. We had a poll out. We put it like a week ago. To see whether we should start with a PS5 or an Xbox this holiday season. And the results are in with 183 votes. PS5 won out 62.3 to 37.8. Squeaks is obviously happy.
Sounds about right.
So this is going to be the first time in a very, very, very long time I'm going to even care about PlayStation. And I'm going to go buy one day one. What kind of exclusive should I be excited about, Squeaks? Why should I be buying my PlayStation?
What are I'm trying to think back. Ratchet playing Spider-Man. What else was announced? The Horizon 2. You should probably play 1 before you start 2. Now you're thinking me. That's the 3 that I can on top of my head right now from the last event. Yeah, that's the 3 I can only think of as of right now.
Okay. Yeah, Miles Morales.
You haven't played whatever's coming back out to the top 100 games. So if you could go back and play Spider-Man or Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us, that'd be nice. Since might as well start with PS5.
Ghost of Tsushima. Now, did you play that at all? I know we have.
No, I have not yet. I'm still playing other games right now, and I'm getting to the point where I need to just stop buying anything until I beat these certain games.
Daniel's playing it for us for the review, and so far he's disliking it so much that he can't even finish it.
No way.
Yeah, he says it's beautiful, but the story's terrible. All stuff like that.
No way. Well, it's coming from Daniel, so whatever.
Well, yeah. I actually had somebody that was messaging us like, oh god, what were they complaining about? Oh, something about like one of your guys' reviews. He was joking around about it, but he was basically saying like, I can't believe your guy hates Mixer so much and he hasn't even tried it before. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a Daniel review. He hates everything, and so it makes the reviews a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I've never even been on Mixer to even have an opinion on it, so it must be
Daniel. Yeah, I went on Mixer when it got closed to look at what's going on, so that's not a very good test. Okay, so we're headed to PlayStation 5 first, and then let's talk about Audible real quick. We're gonna try to make this a short and sweet ad real quick. Guys, check out audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/geekfreaks, you start your trial for an Audible book. And then after that, it's $15 a month, and you guys get one book and 2 Audible originals every month. And even if you don't use your credit on a book, you could save it for the next month so you can get 2 books when something really cool comes out. Currently, we are listening to Shadows Rising by Madeline Rowe. How are you liking Shadows Rising so far?
I'm actually liking it quite a bit. I'm on chapter 20, I believe.
Whoa, damn! I thought I caught up to you.
Yeah, no, flying through it, and it is very political. which is cool because I know we talked about that before, that it was going to be more like that. There's no like so much action involved in the book, but I'm liking. It's a little too detailed sometimes at some points.
Yeah.
With some shit like I don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's a lot heavy. This is so far now. I'm not finished with it, but it's a lot more heavy on the Horde side and Princess Talanchi than it is with the Alliance, which I'm fine with because I'm all about the Horde. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's going on over here now? You know?
Yeah.
And I think I'm starting to get that because I'm at a point where Jaina's more involved.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I got her.
She does
I got her
involved.
first chapter, and it was just like, oh, I'm excited for this. This is
okay,
cool.
yeah. So it gets me my prediction, which this is coming from me first. Like when we were talking about when we were playing WoW one day, if Princess Talanji is gonna fucking kind of semi betray the Horde or get so nervous about her alliance with the Horde that she's just gonna flip on them, and I still think that's gonna happen.
There's no way that's gonna happen.
I'm saying it right here first.
All right, well, you're ahead of me, so maybe you know more information than I do. There's no way Talanji betrays us. Okay. We are Zandalari. Okay. I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
Okay,
we'll dethrone that bitch before that happens. we'll have Zakan actually like lightning her to death. And Samdi knows it's best that she stays with the Horde. He's actually telling Zakan that like, hey, you need to make sure she stays with the Horde. So that means that when Samdi knows that it's important for the future of Shadowlands.
I don't know.
All right, you're ahead of me, so you know information I don't know. That's unfair advantage there. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about this Xbox event that happened. Pretty massive event. We had some more gameplay footage, some more announcements. We have to talk about Halo Infinite first. Now, I want to go on to a big old rant about how awesome Halo is. I'm a big Xbox fan, of course. But let's start with you guys. I know you guys have some opinions on this. Sammy, why don't you go first, man? Tell us what you think about Halo Infinite.
So I ended up rewatching it in 4K 60 frames per second. Because at first people were saying, oh, the graphics look terrible. Yeah. I don't know what's Xbox doing. So that live stream, I didn't really get that from the initial, because I think on Twitch it's only 1080 30 frames per second. So to me, I mean, I wasn't too worried about the graphics, but then I went back and watched it on the 4K 60 frames per second, and I think it looks really good. I mean, it's not mind blowing. It's not like the most amazing graphics you'll see, but to me, it's still really good graphics. Gameplay wise, it looked really well. I mean, it's Halo.
Right.
It's I don't know. One thing they added to it is the grapple.
Excited for that.
Yeah, I think in single player it's going to be dope. I don't know how on multiplayer, because for me, Halo is all about levels, and being able to use the grapple during multiplayer. I don't know. I liked jumping down and being at the top of. If I'm up top shooting, I have the advantage, where I don't want all of a sudden somebody could just use a grapple and they're right next to me. You know, that's not true Halo feel multiplayer. You know.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I mean, it wasn't the greatest presentation for Halo to me either, though. Like, I mean, it was just really basic, like stuff we've seen before.
We have different opinions.
Like the Warthog going off a ramp.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for it. Like I did like the open world aspect of it, being able to choose which way I want to take a mission or which mission I want to go to. So I'm still hyped for it. I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think, Squeaks?
All right, so I'm super excited about this Halo coming up. I mean, I have a love-hate for Halo. Going back to way back in the days where I used to have all the games, I used to have the toys and the books, and I display them all together. But when I watched this, I felt, okay, this is Halo. Like, the only thing that we saw that was new was open world and the grappling. And to me, honestly, the grappling felt cheap, generic.
You're grabbing. You guys are so wrong.
No, not okay. Check it out. For you to grapple this massive ass bomb explosion thing and then throw it, you're like, okay, this looks corny and cheesy as fuck. You know, it looks it looks horrible. If you could grapple to like get to a different location, that's fine. The open world to me felt like what they did with Gears of War 5, where you're going to get a little open world, and then you'll probably jump into a main storyline, and it'll be straight through like a typical Halo. So I'm not a big fan of the open world because I feel like it's just a copycat of Gears 5.
You didn't like it in Gears 5? I really enjoyed it on Gears 5. So I think
it was just there for me. You could do
like just tacked on.
Yeah, like you could do a couple of them, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go to the main story. Like, maybe it wasn't as rewarding for me to veer off to different.
What difficulty did you play it on though? Because I felt like it was super challenging though. Like those side missions in Gears, to be honest, like some of them you had to. It was strategic.
But what was the reward for you? Like, was it really that much of a difference? To me, I just felt like I'm veering off to nothingness.
I mean, you got certain guns out of it, or you got something out of it. I felt like I got rewarded by beating this certain part. To be honest,
I don't know. To me, there wasn't. If you were to create like a talent tree or some like XP for your character, in a game mode like that, that'd be more rewarding. Kind of like, okay, so I don't want to veer off the wild board like Skyrim or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like I felt like, okay, I'm doing these side missions to make myself stronger. But Gears is just there.
But you're comparing like an RPG, which is like quest based, leveling up.
And that's what this open world felt like, though. It felt like I'm just doing these little tiny quests for nothing.
Oh,
really?
I don't know, because now you're just an RPG is huge. Where I mean, this isn't supposed to be that big, you know?
Yeah. All right. So you guys are both wrong. Here it is.
No, hold on. But okay. So whatever. We saw new guns. Okay, there's new guns.
Yeah.
With everything, but when I watched that gameplay, it felt boring.
Holy
like
cow.
If it was quiet, it was.
How did we watch? How did we watch the same trailer? That makes no sense to me.
This guy was playing on easy mode. Okay, if anything, because it was like, okay, I'm gonna throw this canister at the turn. While I'm fucking getting shot at in an insane amount, I could jump on the turret, turn around, and blow everything up. It literally felt non-climatic.
See, where to me that's Halo. Like,
that is Halo, yeah.
What do you want?
You're not playing Call of Duty.
Yeah,
but give me some of that. Why not? Like in the first,
but I don't think they want to reveal it though. They don't want to reveal that. They want you to experience it when you're playing it yourself. They don't want to reveal it during a trailer.
Well, then you're not going to hook me. Well, you know, if you're going to hook me with like the first mission on a Halo 2, because I just played it. Even though your NPCs do absolutely nothing, I want people fucking dying around me. I want some type of fight going on. To me, I don't know. This was not the one to pull me in for sure.
Okay. Let me go here real quick. First of all, yes, they're probably showing like normal gameplay, normal mode, because legendary game mode and heroic and all that stuff like that, that's not typical for the average player. So they have to show. And one of the big benefits to Halo is the fact you have the shield. It's the first thing you get every single game. There's always people testing your shield, make sure it's good. And then you go into God mode. So it did show that you are taking hits, and then it's all about getting your objective done, whatever little task you're working on, like trying to get into a turret before your shield depletes, and then your shield charges up while you're blowing everybody up, right? That's how Halo works. I thought this trailer was spectacular. It was perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to see. So we have the Far Cry-fication of Halo now. That's why it's called Halo Infinite, not Halo 6. We're not going to have a linear story like we would expect. But instead, imagine this is as Far Cry. You get into a world. That's why it's even excellent that this is some grand story where we're chasing down Master Chief or something like that. No. We're crashed on a planet with one guy to help us. And this is exactly like think of Far Cry 5, where you got that one guy in the bunker that's helping you while you go out and capture points. It's the same exact thing. We're going to be spreading the map out. We're going to be going farther. This formula has worked so well for Ubisoft. That's why they keep reusing it over and over again. For
has it though? That's where
Yes, it has. Look at the sales. It is definitely
it does. But how many people like us are saying Ubisoft sticks with the same pattern and it's boring every time? That's what this Halo is telling me right now. We can't praise Halo because it's Halo, but then complain about Ubisoft making the same shit.
Well, the difference is Ubisoft has used that pattern over and over again. This is the first time Halo's trying it out. So, and that being said, everybody's excited for Far Cry 6. You know what I'm saying? That got major hype. So where are we at? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Ubisoft is changing their pattern, but it's because they're trying something different. And Halo is also trying something different by trying to add some of that pattern in. So you have this contained storyline. We're not going to be dealing with massive. It's all about the Banished, and they're stuck on this Halo with us. We're going to be moving from point A to point B, trying to capture points and moving at our own speed. I love that idea. One of the best things about Halo 3 is the first time that we had a big open map while we're moving from point to point. It was still linear story, but it felt so massive, and that's the best part about Halo is this massive ring you're on. We're getting back to that in a big way.
So you think the open world is going to be more like a Far Cry instead of me, where I'm saying it's like Gears 5, where it's just a little portion of open world?
I think
like,
it's straight up Far Cry. Because when they opened the map up, it was Far Cry settings. You had, I have 3 different points I can go capture. You notice how he's looking at the turrets? He talked to the guy. He said, hey, we need to get these turrets gone. And so he looked at the map. He saw 3 turrets on the map, and then he went to go for one. And then when he's going for one, he's sitting there like making his way deeper into where the turret's located so he could shut it down. And then that part's locked down. He would go on to the next 2 turrets.
See, I'm taking it as like we're only going to get a portion of open world, and then we're going to do some levels, and then another portion. So,
I think it's going to be because it's called Infinite. It's a whole new thing.
It's Infinite. I think it's open world. It's open world. You can pick where you want it to go.
Yeah.
Well, but so can Gears 5. You pick wherever you want to go.
And as for the graphics, Xbox actually released a still image showing that the graphics were not that great. This is an official Xbox release. It's done through Microsoft. The graphics are not that great. And that's because, first off, they're not bad. It's just that they're not what you would see from like a Ghost of Tsushima on a PS5 or whatever. The other games that Xbox is pushing out there, they're like, these are pinnacle graphics. It's not like that. They showed the graphics because the game is so massive in scale that the graphics take a dip. That is just the facts. When you're playing a game that's that high level, say an MMORPG like World of Warcraft, in 04, those graphics were not to the quality of graphics of the 04 games. But because the game's so massive, it has to take a dip in graphics. That's evident of how big this game is, how it's going to be open world the whole time, because the graphics aren't as perfect as they could be. They look like better Destiny 2 graphics, not necessarily, I think this is going to be the best Halo we've had so far. I'm super excited for it.
And what you said about the graphics is 100% true. I go back. There is a thing that you told me. This is how far back it was. Ultimate Alliance 1. Okay. Yeah. I remember sitting in your house and you're like, okay, the graphics aren't the best because of how big Ultimate Alliance 1 is going to be. Mm-hmm. And forever, that's been stuck in my head. I don't know why, but I always think of that moment when we say something like this. And to me, the graphics didn't look horrible, but it didn't look like Series X.
The show-off graphics. Yeah.
I don't think they look horrible though.
They're not terrible. That's the thing is, but when you're like, I keep using Ghost of Tsushima because they went the other way with it. They were like, look how amazing the graphics are. We're not going to show you too much gameplay. It was the other way of going about this when, and it was very fast paced. And again, I keep going back to Far Cry because it reminded me so much of Far Cry, but if you're penetrating one of the fortresses in Far Cry or one of these bases in Far Cry, you're kind of going in different ways with it. You're kind of just trucking along. You're balancing attacks. You're trying to shut down alarms. I can see all those things arising in this Halo. And one thing that's nice, they already confirmed that there won't be an Infinite 2. But I think that this lends itself to DLCs and expansions in a way that makes Halo Infinite last a lot longer than a normal like Halo 5. Because we're past that point now where a game comes out. Think of Sea of Thieves for example. The game comes out, I spend my $60 and then I'm done. Maybe there's a DLC or season pack that adds a couple more. I think this thing's going to have some major legs on it. It's going to last for a long time. And there is no doubt, because Halo's always had it, and this one's going to be the best with it, co-op is going to be awesome on this game. Co-op is going to be amazing.
I read it somewhere. I can't remember now where I read it, but they do have a roadmap for Halo, that's why they're not going to be pushing another Halo right away. There's a roadmap for it, so they want it to be a long term. And my guess is they will have a battle royale mode.
I think so too. I think we're going to be moving to like the old school Warsong. No, not Warsong Gulch. That one Gulch that was like from Red versus Blue. I think we're going to be getting those big battles. I love that. That'd be fun. I mean, I still want some of those small, what Halo's known for battles as well.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts on Halo before we move on to the next games on the list?
And then they also did say though that the demo that they showed was only a work in progress build.
Yeah,
as well, and it was running on a PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once it gets past work in progress, it'll be.
It was running on a PC just as powerful as an Xbox X. So they did come out and say that. So I don't know why they would show a build that's a work in progress. Who knows how old that build is as well.
True.
So I don't believe they said how old that build is. So who knows? The graphics still could be pushed forward even from that build, which actually I like, where I rather them show me an older build than a build that's so far out that most games end up reducing the graphics in the end.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man just had the puddles, which people still made that a huge deal. Oh, there's not as many puddles in Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it? The Division. The Division had a huge graphics, and then they reduced it down from a trailer to the actual game.
We're seeing a reduction in Cyberpunk as well. There's a reduction in features because they just couldn't do what they said they could do.
Yeah, so I rather have them go the opposite way, increase the graphics.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, some other games we had State of Decay 3. Squeaks, I know you tried this one out before, right? It's State of Decay 2.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy State of Decay 2? Are you excited about number 3?
I enjoyed it for a little while. I found myself the open world concept and the creating like a community, kind of like Walking Dead or whatever, was pretty neat. But then it felt like a grind, and a grind that I was not really into to continue spending hours in. So I kind of quit playing State of Decay. This trailer, the only thing that we see is like, okay, an animal can get the virus now. The deer just freaks out, wants to kill you. Other than that, you didn't really do anything. What's the deal? That's the only thing he showed us.
I think it's pretty far off in development. It'll be a while before things release. When they show just like purely cinematics, then I think we got a bit. We have the. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Just there's really nothing exciting for me here.
We also have the Outer Worlds Peril of Gorgon DLC coming up. Outer Worlds is a fantastic game. If you guys like Fallout, but you kind of wish it was back to the old days when it was a little bit funner, play Outer Worlds. Peril of Gorgon, I think, is going to be really fun. And apparently it's addressing a lot of the issues that people have with the first one. But even those issues are superficial. They're not that bad.
Did you get excited for the trailer? I know the trailer, I kind of liked it. It was that old school horror type.
Like the 50s, it kind of went from the black and white to color. Yeah. Well, that's how the whole game is. The game is like that. It's very 50s and space themed. And so it felt right away like, oh yeah, we're watching Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's funny.
Now, did you catch the trailer for Avowed?
Oh my gosh. I am hyped for Avowed. That was my one game that I wish I could have right away.
Yeah, the internet is a buzz about this, and it's just a launch title and anything like that, but it's coming from Obsidian, so everybody's excited about that. It looked amazing, big fat RPG.
I think if they keep, it's like that Skyrim feel, whatever. RPG. I thought the trailer was beautiful, and I hope when you see yourself carrying the sword at the end, or the player, whoever, I'm hoping that's the art of the gameplay. Like, I'm hoping that's how beautiful it looks. I don't want to see this kind of like super detailed, grainy Skyrim look.
Yeah.
I really like how clean this one was. So I'm pretty excited for it too. It looks really neat. It looks beautiful. But obviously I can't really say much. Yeah, the magic looks beautiful when he's doing that thing with his left hand. There's not much to say about it because that's all we got, really. But I'm hoping it keeps that beauty to it in a world like Skyrim.
It had the biggest hype overall.
Oh.
Yeah, for the first, other than like Halo and Fable, right? It had the highest hype for like these new titles. We had Psychonauts 2. People who are big Psychonauts 1 fans are excited that it's coming out. I think the trailer was a really bad trailer. It did not show enough of the actual gameplay of the platforming. It went for the psychedelic kind of thing more than anything else. But if you're a new player, that's not really showing you what the game does. So pretty lackluster trailer. Destiny 2 coming to Game Pass. Excellent.
Quick, though, on the Psycho, though. It's creating this really pretty world, but you never know when a game can be a adventure game like that could be a big hit with Jack and Daxter and Banjo-Kazooie,
This will be a big hit. There's no doubt. Psychonauts 1 is legendary. It's one of the biggest hits of its time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has loyal fans that have been begging for this game for a long time. There's no doubt Psychonauts 2 will be a very, very good game. I'm complaining that the trailer sucked. because it didn't show the platforming very well. Like, it showed one time where he froze time and was able to use that to jump off. But it's like, show more of that. That's huge. And yeah, I just think it kind of missed the ball on that a little bit. So Destiny 2 is joining Game Pass. This is awesome. You guys should already be Game Pass subscribers. This is already just the best deal in gaming. And we're getting Beyond Light announced as well. But when you get Destiny 2 on Game Pass, you're also getting all the expansions for free included. I think this is going to finally bring me back to Destiny 2. I think I need to get in there. I think I need to play some. I'm assuming it's going to be cross-platform like all the other versions. And Bungie is just doing things right. What do you guys think about this?
Oh, I text Squeaks right away. I'm like, I'm back into Destiny. I was like, oh. As soon as they said, oh, it's Game Pass, everything's included. Oh, I'm back on Destiny.
Yeah, I
think this was one of the smartest moves that Xbox can have, because I remember back in the day when Destiny 1 came out, it was more like, okay, PlayStation's going to get the extra stuff. But now that Xbox kind of took that mantle and say, oh, okay, we're going to get everything free for you for Game Pass, and we're giving you the new expansion, that's huge, I think, for Xbox. Like, that's definitely a win, for sure.
Yeah, and we need more and more of this stuff like that. There's another game, it's not on the list that we put here, but Crossfire X. And they released this game, and I'm like, this thing, people don't know it yet, but this is going to be huge. It's what it reminds me of is, you know how like Call of Duty keeps coming out with these games, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is a new game. Hopefully you guys like it. But then they'll like re-release Modern Warfare 2 again, and that sells like crazy. And it's because people want those campaigns and stuff like that. So I think Xbox is like, we see that you guys are crazy for the Modern Warfare stuff and not so much about Black Ops. Who cares anymore? And they made their own game that is basically just campaign. That's what it is. This new Crossfire X is just campaign. And it looks like they even said in the thing, it's like, it's a cinematic single player mode. So it's exactly like those old Call of Duties where you're like, oh, the ship is sinking. We need to get off the ship. And it's these big, beautiful set pieces that I'm running through. I think this thing has the potential to be a huge new exclusive for Xbox.
This is one of my most anticipated. This fucking trailer was badass.
Oh,
like,
really?
Crossfire looks amazing to me. Not that it's just not like the crazy combat that we're gonna get that's super fun, but you can even tell the story should be badass. Also, with the relationships of other characters. When when other people are talking, it looks like there actually is this you could be experiencing a loss in the game, and I actually care about it.
Yeah.
So I think character development is going to be pretty awesome between just the side characters. I think some of the technology in it that we saw that's kind of futuristic, that also gave me this interesting Metal Gear Solid feel, because you do get some weird ass things happening there. With whatever I can't even think of the big robots. Daniel would.
Yeah, and there's like a suit too that looks like it might be a powerful suit.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for Crossfire.
I thought it was really like, because Crossfire X is the single player is done by Remedy as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that looked really good. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Hopefully it becomes a new staple of Xbox. All right. And then kind of the last one we really got to make sure to mention is the surprise kind of announcement of Fable. It's very early on. We basically just got a title card with a little quick cinematic sequence beforehand. But I'm excited, and it looks like it's a full-on reboot of the franchise, which is what it needed, because Fable 3 was terrible and Fable 2 was okay, but Fable 1 was so legendary that it's carried the name on. I'm hyped for this. What do you guys think about Fable? What can we see from a new generation of it?
I'm looking forward to Fable. Actually playing, I decided, it was like, oh man, I saw the trailer. I was like, so I started playing Fable Anniversary last night again. Nice. I was like, oh man. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know it's probably at least 2-3 years away.
Yeah.
My guess.
I agree. I think we're going to actually see some real footage at next year's E3.
Yeah. Heads up. Yeah. Fable is actually, the anniversary. This is on sale, 75% off on Steam for $8. So I'm definitely going to pick that up right now.
Good call.
See, I know a lot of people didn't like Fable 3, but that's when I started getting into Fable. Okay. I didn't really know much about Fable until Joey, that's on here sometimes, was talking to me about it. I'm like, all right, well, I'll give it a try. Shoot, I freaking love Fable 3, and maybe because
probably you did play
1 and 2, you know,
right?
Yeah, 3 wasn't very good to me, to be honest.
Well, then that's good, because then if I go back to playing number 1, then at least I can only get higher expectations from there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it should just be better for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it, but yeah, with the teaser trailer, is this Microsoft saying like, "Oh fuck, we need something right now to kind of hype up this conference"?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did we just tell the people? Are they actually making a Fable game, or is it?
Yeah.
Hey, we really want to, and we just started, but can you at least put a trailer together for this? Um, so yeah, like you said, it's not a semi surprise because of the little things that were coming out with Twitter.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I agree with Sam. This is gonna be a while before it releases, for sure.
I'm excited for it. Fable 1, fantastic game, and it was actually the first time I fell in love with RPGs, I think. I'm excited for you to try it out if you haven't tried it out yet. It's really good. It might not be able to capture the same thing as Fable 1 because now of us being experienced players, but it was just groundbreaking at the time. It was unreal. Was there anything else announced during the Xbox event you guys want to make sure to give a shout out to that you thought was pretty interesting?
I really liked the Gunk, I believe it was called.
Yeah, Gunk. Yeah.
That looked really good. And then I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it looked like you are pretty much the shooter where it looks like Transformers. Like you're going to be a Transformer robot.
I don't remember that at all.
With the sword. He had that sword. What? Oh my gosh. I can't even find it. Let me see.
Did you fall asleep and dream some cool game?
No.
Let's make it right now. I need a Transformers game in my life. Another one.
Let me see. What is it called? You'll have to come back to me.
Okay,
I do.
Okay. Well, two things that I'm Everwild.
Yeah,
that right?
By Rare.
By Rare for sure. So that's already a plus because of obviously our love for Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork's beautiful and I love the animals in it, but it's still like, okay, well, what's the point of it? So that one I'm keeping an eye on, and also I'm not huge into Forza, but what I like how this Forza is doing is that it's kind of like team based. So it's not team based, but like you're for a team, so you kind of have that crew with you. So I kind of like that NASCAR Formula One feel. So if they do that instead of me just racing on the streets here and there, that'd be neat. I've only played Forza 4 because they never really fully grabbed my attention that much. But if you could put me on a track, I don't know if they do some pit stops or something, that'd be kind of neat. Yeah, those are my two little quick shout outs that we didn't talk about.
Oh, you know why? I got it confused with the pre-show. Did you guys watch the pre-show? That's probably why.
That's good.
The one with Jeff Keighley or however you say his name.
Yeah.
It's called Exo Mecha, something like that. Exo Mecha. Oh, if you guys didn't see that trailer, oh man, you need to go watch it.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't see much of the pre-show.
Okay.
The one that was announced in the pre-show that I do want to mention is Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest.
It's a X1S or 11S. Echoes of an elusive age. It's the definitive edition. It looks amazing. I need to play one of these. One of our stream partners has been streaming Dragon Quest and has been really enjoying it. It's like 400 hours of gameplay, some insane number. I need to get around to playing it. It does look really good. Moving on to Comic-Con, it's just Squeaks and I now. So we have a ton of panels. Have you been catching any of these panels for the Comic-Con at home?
I haven't got too much panels, but I'm catching all the trailers that are being released. I feel like is there a lot really? Like, I haven't really seen any like exciting news besides some X-Men, some Bill and Ted.
Not great news. This just is not the same. Obviously, it's not with the whole COVID thing, but it just doesn't feel like it's the same amount of hype, the same amount of excitement coming out our way.
Yeah.
Totally a downer this year. Okay, so let's go with this then. Have you watched any of the panels?
No.
Okay. No. I've watched the Star Trek one for Picard and stuff like that, and but they don't have my attention like a normal panel does, and I don't know why. I don't know what's missing out of this. Maybe it's just all the cheering and stuff like that really drives me forward. It's kind of like with sports. It's really weird that they're trying their best. It's just not pulling me in like it used to. I don't know what it is.
Oh, for sure. And you as well. We follow so much pop culture media stuff.
Yeah.
And literally my stuff is just silent.
Yeah.
It's not anything going on really. It's kind of sad, really.
I thought this week's episode was going to be so full of stuff because we had the Xbox event and Comic-Con. I was ready to start typing up articles, throwing up on the website. it has been so boring. Well, I mean, I've also been very busy, but it's been so boring that it's just like, it's not worth even typing up this thing, a full article about Simon Pegg's new series. It's just like, it's okay. Stuff like that. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the big things that we did get. We had the new Bill and Ted trailer. What did you think about the Bill and Ted trailer?
I thought, I'm not that excited to see it, to be honest.
Okay.
It looks mediocre. It doesn't, I wasn't really laughing. I think I laughed at, giggled at one part, but to me, it's not really that funny. It's kind of hard to see that these two grown-ass men are still, acting the same.
Yeah.
Because they're so much older now, so it's weird to see from when the original first movie was to how many years later, and they're still exactly the same person, which, okay, a lot of movies do that, but still at the same time, are we going to see any maturity or difference between them? Are they just two dumbass people that got married still and then have these dumbass kids, right?
I assume they still will be for sure. Yeah.
So I feel like there's really no it's just medium for me, 50-50 really.
The original movies, do you remember them being very funny? I don't remember them being like a big laugh. I thought they were just fun adventures, not necessarily funny.
Yeah, I don't remember really laughing that much. Not like a Dumb and Dumber.
Right. Yeah. Dumb and Dumber is written and timed to be just jokes, and you shit your pants by the end because it's so funny. But Bill and Ted, I always thought was just a fun romp, and then I'm like enjoying them. And these guys are a little bit funny here and there, but not necessarily a big thing. And I got that vibe from this trailer as well, that they're bringing back this fun story. And it feels like there are basically two different movies. In one, we have Bill and Ted trying to correct the past. And then we have their daughters are going out and doing they're redoing number one. They're trying to create this perfect band by picking these musicians from history to create a perfect band. Which feels like the first Bill and Ted, where they're going around trying to put together their, what was it, science project, history project, or something like that.
Yeah. It was a school project,
Yeah. So for those, I would highly suggest watching Bill and Ted 1 and 2 and kind of refamiliarizing yourself with the franchise and their humor, because I don't know how their humor will age. I enjoy it, but it's like a very super stereotype of California, and we're both from California, and it's nothing like that over here. I've never really met somebody that Californian, but it's fun. They're fun movies, is what it boils down to. They're bringing back the Grim Reaper, and he's awesome, same actor and everything. So it'll be pretty cool. All right, we had a trailer for The Boys. It's kind of basically a little snippet of the actual first season 2. What'd you think of that? Did you catch that at all?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I mean, it's kind of everything was expected. There was really nothing new in the trailer that shooketh me.
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing what we thought, at least what I thought would happen. Did you see anything that was?
I thought it was okay. I don't think it's as good as some of the other ones we've seen, where they were like, oh, there's a new member joining the team, and that was one of the first earlier ones we got. And then there's the one where we saw directly afterwards, where Homelander's like trying to become a dad and raise his kid. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch and see what happens there.
Yeah,
it looks good. We do know that season 3, it already has been renewed for season 3, which shows that Amazon believes in the show enough to grant them their third season. And I don't think I don't know how far it's gonna go. I don't think the comic books go very far, but we'll have to check. I think the comic books are kind of a shallow thing. We'll have to see. We got a new Mutants.
I mean, it's a good sign.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a good sign that they renewed for season 3 already, but it'd be nice to kind of know what season 2 has for us. I mean, we haven't even been able to watch that yet.
Yeah.
So
just the execs have seen it.
Just going off of season 1 though, I'm kind of glad to hear that there is a season 3, because I mean, I enjoyed season 1 quite a bit.
I did
different, new take for sure on the superhero genre. So
it's good writing and everything.
Good news.
Yeah. What did you think about the new Mutants clip that we got?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I've kind of enjoyed it, New Mutants, from the very beginning, because when I first saw it, you're like, dude, this is some crazy ass horror movie.
Right.
And I like how they're still continuing with that, because it's like a whole freak out scene where the dad's grabbing the girl and running out of that trailer they're in.
Yeah.
Or house they're in, whatever they're in. And it looks scary the whole time. And then when she wakes up, you see that little kid in the vent, you're like, oh, shit. It could be like a little monster, right? If it was a horror movie. So as long as it keeps it that way, I'm excited for it. But it's neat that we saw a trailer for this New Mutants to kind of give us like, okay, something's still going on with it, because I feel like we've been in a standstill for so long with this movie. So a little nervous of what Like, when's it coming out? Come on now.
Yeah, I'm so tired of waiting for this game, for this thing. I'm just honestly, I have lost all interest in this. Uh, I want it to release. I want to watch it, but I think it just needs to be on Disney Plus and be done, and then that way they can just move on from it, because they were talking about. I was seeing the thing where they're talking about like, oh, these were the planned sequels to it and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about planned sequels that were supposed to come out or anything like that.
Yeah.
This movie was shot and done with over a year ago. Just release it. Like,
yeah.
We live in a new world now, and it's like same thing with Black Widow and Mulan. I want those already out. I don't care if you guys lose some. Just try to get your money back. Right now, we need entertainment like crazy. Which I know you guys are all listening to Geek Freaks podcast to fill your time, and I really think that's a good move. That was a smart move on your guys' part. But we also want to watch Black Widow, and we could make a cool watching party out of it and stuff like that. Like there's all kinds of hype you could build around a surprise release like that. Do that. Let's get it out there. Mulan is getting like, the longer you guys wait on Mulan, the more political backlash you're receiving because of the actors voicing their opinions. Just get that thing out there so that people can enjoy it before it gets ruined. Just, you're taking too long on these things. They can't sit on the back burner this long. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm getting frustrated, to be honest with you.
That's the thing what you said too, like release it. Like you saying like even if you make your money back, I think they would make way more money, because we have an example of Trolls 2 and what Universal did and how much more money they made. Release that. Have a section on Disney Plus where you release it, and to rent it 24 hours is like $20, because that's still, like, I've argued this before, because like you said, this is a new world.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper for me and the wife to rent a movie for $20 than go to the movie theaters. At the same time, we can have those parties. We can get together at somebody. I mean, I know we're with the COVID or whatever and how we feel about it, but you can get together with friends and family and have a fun at a living room. Put that shit on your big screen, Yeah.
And then kind of, you can keep social distance at each other's houses, or do a watch party. Watch parties are really big right now, too.
Whatever.
That's always cool. I'm actually debating about setting up a drive-in theater in my backyard, because I'm just like, I want to do something.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, me and Squeaks were talking, me and Dana were talking about that, like, if we, maybe by John's birthday, we could set up a big thing, because I'm finishing up the backyard right now. We could set up a TV screen back there or something like that. Be kind of fun.
But I feel like this can make tons of money.
Yeah.
Still, by doing that.
I'd be
release that bitch. Have a section on Disney Plus where it's like, here's the movies that we wanted to release.
And here,
$20.
You have to pay extra for it. Totally. I would pay, like we were talking about this last week with Daniel and Jonathan, like what would the release schedule need to look like if movies were to start coming out? And they were both convinced that like $20, but then you own the movie. And I said I would pay up to $40 for like Black Widow to be able to actually watch it, because me it's like it would be the same price of me seeing it in theater, with popcorn, and then buying it on Blu-ray. Like, I'm down for that. I'm down to pay $40 for me to own and watch it right now.
To own, fine, $40. Okay, cool, that's whatever. But you don't need to be like $20 and then you own it. That's way too fucking cheap. That's a loss in money.
Totally agree. Like, you should have been here last week.
Because you're willing to pay movie tickets and then buy the movie later. Like, nah, and $20, that's way too cheap.
I think 40 is perfect.
And you know what? And even if they do a thing where you don't own it, I'm still 100% okay to pay $20 to watch it, just like if I was in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the comfort of my couch with popcorn.
And then I have access to it for like 2 days, and then it's done, like a regular.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then $40 if I could own it, then that's badass too.
I'd be down
if you could do something like that. Yeah, for sure.
So that was our take on the New Mutants clip. And then we got a new trailer for His Dark Materials.
Not much New Mutants, kind of like of what the whole movie has been.
His Dark Material 2 Season 2 trailer. It was released, but was also announced that it's being delayed. Did you get a chance to watch the first season of this, His Dark Material?
No, actually I have not.
Really good. I've always, I'm the kind of guy that I liked The Golden Compass, the movie that came out that everybody hated. I haven't had a chance to read the books, is why I liked the movie. The series, I hear, actually does jump off the book right away too, but it was good, and I really like the main actress. I can't remember her name, but she is from Logan. She's the girl from Logan, and she's a little badass in this too. What's that?
The little girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's a badass in this as well. So season 2 is coming out. It's got Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's got just a killer cast. It's one of the best casts on TV. So I'm excited for season 2. But unfortunately, it is also being delayed because of the reshoots. They have to wait on those. We have a new series that was revealed that looks so funny. I cannot wait for this. It's got Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They're back again. These are the guys from Shaun of the Dead, from Hot Fuzz, from the end of the world and stuff like that. This is called Truth Seekers, and it's a story about ghost hunters. I think what it is Nick Frost is a ghost hunter, and like it looks almost like Simon Pegg actually knows about ghosts, and Nick Frost is out there like doing one of those like ghost hunter YouTube channels, which are these very terrible YouTube channels that try to mimic the already very terrible ghost hunter shows. Nick Frost is running one of these, but there are actual ghosts out now, and he keeps doing stupid stuff that are like, I can hear it, but I can't hear it, and there's like actually ghosts haunting people. So it looks like a lot of fun. What do you think about these guys getting back together, man?
Man, a long time coming.
Yeah, right, totally.
Shoot, these two, because even if the stuff is not like super hilarious, they just work so well together.
They do.
And it's like with to see them separate, because I watched a Sick Note, and it's with oh god, the bigger one. I can't think of which one. Nick, right?
Nick Frost. Yeah.
Okay. Nick, and I love him no matter what he does.
Same.
But then when you have that combo, it's like that puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
So it's either funny, but then like story wise, I'm entertained by them no matter what they do.
Totally.
And this ghost one looks hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch those ghost shows all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, who knows if it was even something real or not.
Yeah.
So man, I'm super excited for this one.
This is gonna be a lot of fun.
I think
it's a
this
series
might be
too,
their
which is
best
great. So you
thing.
get more of it.
I'm hoping this is their best thing. I think it will be their best thing.
It has the potential. It has the potential. So you like Shaun of the Dead as their best? I think Hot Fuzz is their best.
Let me watch Hot Fuzz again.
Hot Fuzz to me is so rewatchable. I love that movie.
Really?
Shaun of the Dead's fantastic,
I'll
but yeah, I really love Hot Fuzz. Okay, we also got the announcement of Star Trek Prodigy coming to Nickelodeon. It was just the logo reveal, but basically this is a new Nickelodeon show that sounds like it'll probably be following the Academy, going through Starfleet Academy. I'm excited for this, man. More Star Trek. Always more Star Trek. That's fantastic. Yeah. And we're in the heyday of Star Trek again, man. I never would have. If you told me 5 years ago that Star Trek's coming back and it's gonna be big, I wouldn't have believed you, because there was nothing on air, and all of a sudden now we have Discovery and New World and stuff like that all coming.
Yeah.
Picard. Yeah. I like this idea of getting kids into it because that's kind of the next generation welcoming them in. We have Lower Decks, which is also animated, but it's going to have that adult animation. This will straight up be for kids, just in a Star Trek world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down to have different types of genres in Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like how Star Wars, where they even have like kid books to adult books.
Totally.
To the movies. So we have like the kid shows, the adult shows. So if you could just expand the Star Trek world, I would love it, because I am a newer Star Trek fan, and I fell in love with the movies. I love those movies. And then I started watching Discovery, and I still haven't finished Picard.
Picard, really Picard is kind of more of a nostalgia one. Like it really, I don't think it's as good as I think it is normally, but because of Next Gen and Voyager, I liked it more. And I think for new Star Trek fans, I don't think it's as good as like Discovery. I think Discovery is really good, and a lot of people need to be watching it.
I like Discovery a lot as well.
Yeah. And New World, I think it's called The New World, or what is it called? A New Adventure. I can't remember the name. But that thing is going to take off. That's going to be straight up an old school Star Trek they're making new with just a whole new cast. It looks really good.
Oh, badass. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is only possible because of the merger between CBS and Viacom. They re-merged after, they merged back in the day, but they re-merged, and CBS has access to CBS Access, All Access has the Star Treks on it, and now with Viacom owns Nickelodeon, they're able to make this deal happen and bring it home. All right, that's pretty much it from Comic-Con. There's still more to come before we finish this recording. We will put out articles for everything that was announced that's fancy and cool. So check out our website, guys. Totally redesigned. It looks all fancy now. I've heard rumors that it's better than IGN. Somebody said it's better than comicbook.com. I don't say these things. I just have heard the rumors. It's out there. Whatever. It happens. It's great stuff. Okay, so some other news that we have. Disney delays Star Wars and Avatar 2, and also removes Mulan from the slate, which is huge news right there. This is just some more delays. I know we're kind of like, more delays. It just happens. But we have a couple more now. The Star Wars, the entire trilogy has been moved back. And then, because I think they're at the point now where they're trying to kind of get into casting. So that takes actually seeing people. And for Mulan, it being removed from the slate, that means that they're changing. They're not even like saying it's delayed anymore. Now they're just saying it's not part of our lineup anymore. What do you think that means? Do you think that means they're just going to come out with it on series on a Disney Plus? Or do you think they're just like, we're not going to say delayed anymore, we're just going to put it out whenever we're able to?
I think it'll just be they're tired of like maybe like putting dates and saying delayed.
I think
we're just doing indefinite so they can stop coming out with those words.
Yeah.
And we'll just get it when life becomes normal.
Okay.
Or the new normal.
So probably because last week we talked about how there's a report about it being mid 2021. Yeah. So it'll probably be around there. It'll just like, oh hey guys, Milan's coming out next week. Kind of like that.
It's so ridiculous to wait that long, and we just went on that ramp for the Disney Plus. Like, have a section, have people pay for it, make your money that way.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, it sucks to see it that way because we are probably looking at it mid 2021.
Yeah, it seems so far away.
God,
but we just gotta stay safe, everybody. That's why we got to get everybody. I hate that behind me is like an expensive studio that we put together with like these really nice mics. And I was literally dusting the mixer off this morning. And I was like, this is so sad because this thing was amazing. Yeah. And yet now we're like, I'm on a Yeti here on the PC and you're using your headphones. Help us out on Audible, guys. We're gonna be setting up studios in each of the houses until COVID's done. I know those who listened last week know that we definitely need echo reduction for Jonathan because it was like he was in the middle of a cave in Ohio.
Oh, he's in that new house. Yeah,
it's the new house. He has nothing on the walls yet. He just put up his Tuvok poster. And I was like, the Tuvok poster looks great. It does nothing for echo. Oh, but yeah. All right, Universal. We talked before about Tom Cruise is making a film in space now. Universal Pictures is reportedly joining and negotiating what it takes to do the filming. They're projecting the budget to be around $200 million. It's going to be directed by Doug Lamont. He did Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise movie itself. The movie still doesn't have a script. They're just totally going off the base of like, we want to do this in space. What do you think, man? Are you excited for this movie? It seems kind of like a waste of money to me, but to record a movie in space.
I feel like you're not going to get that much picture in space because, okay, what do we talk about? How are we doing the camera? Is there a crew? Is the director going up there with you? How many scenes are you going to have in space? Do I think it's badass and a hurrah for movies actually being where they are? We complain how many times about green screens and shit. And you're like, all right, well, fuck it, we'll just go to space and do it then. So I think it'd be really neat to see, but I don't think you're gonna make a whole movie in space because what are you gonna do? I guess we don't know the script or the story, but can you really make a full movie in space?
Yeah, let me type this out. And it's gonna be.
I got this feeling where we're gonna see a lot here, and then we'll film to launch and stuff like that, and I don't know, I guess you're living on space. I don't know, whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, and
I don't think we're gonna get a full movie. I think it'll be snippets.
I think you're right. I think it's gonna be. I think they're planning on filming the whole thing in space, but then they're gonna get him to the point where like, yeah, but that doesn't make a good movie. It might be like Gravity or something like that, but I'll have to see. Or it might be like the shaky cam thing where it feels like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love how America this is. This kind of makes me proud. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who was it that just sent up Saudi Arabia or something like that? Just sent up a science vessel, and we're like, but what about movies? We have a hotel we're putting in space that we recently talked about. Well, about 6 months ago we talked about on the podcast, and now we're filming a movie in space, and it's just like, hell yeah, baby! It just feels like us.
And who else be like? Fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah, let's get Tom Cruise up there.
That's hilarious.
Somebody needs to be a captain of this spaceship. Let's get Tom Hanks.
Dude, have him just come out in his Top Gun uniform.
Oh my
all white, looking spiffy as shit. Oh my god.
We have Space Force. Maybe the next season of Space Force will actually be in space.
Oh man.
I don't know if we mentioned it on this thing. But Netflix now owns the rights to the name Space Force.
Yeah, we have.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, the future is so weird.
It's interesting. And
I'm surprised that they're not going to film more with stagecraft. Now, have you heard about this before? Stagecraft, it was used on The Witcher and on Mandalorian. It was famously used on Mandalorian. This new
what is this?
Oh,
what
dude. Green screen's the way of the past, man. We're all moving to stagecraft now. You gotta watch the videos of them using this thing. So what it is they basically wrap a giant... I lose focus whenever... Anyways, they basically wrap the entire stage with a big LCD monitor and have that thing portraying the background of, say, whatever, the Mandalorian's planet he's on. And then they're filming it, and then when the camera tilts, the background's able to tilt correctly too to make it make sense. And you cannot tell the difference. The lighting is so like one problem with the green screen is when like Captain America, I was watching a video, I was using Captain America as an example. When they're filming Captain America on stage on a green screen, you still get like the shine of the green screen back. So there's like a green tint on the shield. They have to fix that in post. But here, if you have like the desert behind you that's projected with LCD screens, then on the shiny armor of the Mandalorian, you actually see the desert lighting on it. It's so amazing. Please watch that video, guys. Look up Stagecraft, especially with the Mandalorian, how they filmed it. That's the future of filming. And I would like to see a space film done that way because it's just amazing. It's more expensive setup, but once it's set up, it's way cheaper in the long run to film this way. And all of The Witcher was done that way too.
Yeah. You really remind me of like Universal already having somewhat of this technology. If you go on the Universal tram, I'm speaking for Hollywood, or even Orlando. You go in this building and they have a 360 screen all around you.
Yeah.
So if they could just plop that screen wherever you're at, your whole environment's there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need green screens, and you obviously for actors they probably love because they have something to interact with as well.
It's big for that.
They can visually see it.
Yeah, like they can go reference to a mountain, and the mountain is there.
Exactly, like and then oh man,
that's one of the things they mentioned too. Is like the director can actually see things happening, so he's like, you know what? Let's move that mountain a little bit. It doesn't quite work from the shot I want, and so they'll change the mountain because it's all instead of like in post being like having to fix everything with post and adding a background in post and making that sure that works. No, you can do it on set, so the actor has something to reference. It's the future of filming. It's really really neat. All right, so. Let's go ahead. We're going to talk about two more things gaming-wise. Ubisoft says they won't raise the next-gen game prices for the beginning anyways. They're still going to be around $60. This is in contrast to 2K, who's putting out their basketball and baseball game, saying that they're going to be at the new price point of $70 for the PlayStation and Windows version, and then the Switch version and Google Stadia version will remain at $60. What do you think about the future of games going up $10?
So it's kind of scary, one, because Ubisoft did kind of confirm, like, games will be raising to $70.
Yeah.
So that's like, that shocked me a little bit. So we obviously we're all gun-ho about paying $60 now, but with the $70 mark, I even brought this up multiple times. We are getting so close to $100 a game.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, how much content can you give me for almost $100 a video game? And sometimes I can complain because there's so much content, and I just don't have the time anymore to play an Assassin's Creed Odyssey every single time I put a game disc in.
Yeah.
But man, I can't imagine myself almost playing $100 for a video game. Like, obviously, then I'm not. It's gonna be very selective of which ones I get day one, and then I'm gonna be waiting on sales most of the time. And even at that sales, you got to think, like, if a $60 game goes to $30, well, now it's going to be $40 because they're probably still just going to do the average, right?
Right. Yeah, so they're going to make it to the
even at that, it's not even going to be, that much of a sell. So I can't. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's going to kind of think the way I think, where we're just going to wait for these sales to happen, summer sales or whatever.
Well, nowadays we are waiting for sales more and more. I mean, that's just because we fill the library up, we play what we can, and we whatever we can. I actually think this is a good move, because it's been so long since games went up in price, but yet the cost of making the game has gone up way more. When you look at the cost of living and production time and the budget on these things, all that has gone up, but the price of the game hasn't. That's why we've seen the increase in microtransactions and DLCs post game release. So I'm happy with the games going up $10 because I think that's only fair if you guys cool it on the microtransactions. Because the microtransactions' job is to make up the difference so that we don't have to buy the game up front. But if you guys come out with a plan where, like, say, okay, Ubisoft, say Ubisoft increases the next Far Cry at $70. Fine, but I better not see any sort of guns I can buy or anything like that. I don't want any of that. Or else keep that game at $40 and add microtransactions. It's got to be one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Because
then what's your idea of microtransactions for cosmetics?
I'm fine with that. Fine with that, but that still takes developer time, and I'm spending X amount of money for your developer's time. That's how this whole thing used to work, and I want it to continue to work that way. If you guys are going to end up putting money in on developer time to create cosmetics, then you better decrease how much time it took to make the launch game because the developer was distracted. You know what I'm saying? If 100% of the developer's time went into the game, I'm willing to spend more money for that developer's time. But you just gotta find that balance. And I know we've made the transition into microtransaction to support the rest of the development cost. That's fine with me. But if you're going to increase the price, then we need to go back on something we've already been doing with the microtransactions a little bit, in my opinion.
So then I'm going to throw out Overwatch, for example. You're okay with 100% if Overwatch 2 is $70 with all the
Overwatch 1 was not the full price of another game, though. Overwatch 1 came out at $40. It didn't come out at $60. It really? Yeah, it did not come out at a full price game. Now that I'm saying that, I want to double check, but I'm almost positive it came out at like $40. Yeah.
Okay.
Might have to do some quick Googling.
I mean, if that's correct, then yeah, I'm totally fine. And plus, even at the end of the day, with its Overwatch, then I mean, I'm going to pay $70 and buy all those costumes, so nothing's stopping me there.
Yeah, and they're going to see that and just go with it. Yeah, it did release edition launched at $40.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm down with that. That's perfect. I'm totally down with buying your microtransactions because Overwatch, they got their money back. I definitely spent over the, those $2 for a box when I'm bored. Yeah, all right, I got
it. Yeah, for sure. You added my money total. I bought multiple versions of Overwatch.
Yeah,
or multiple copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's like $70 though for a game. You know, it's getting there. I know the cost of living and like what you're saying. I mean, if everything's going up, then it just selected, like, do I want to eat dinner or do I want to play the new 2K?
You got to look at it this way, though. You got to look at it this way. Your eggs have gone up, your milk has gone up, your gasoline's gone up. It's only fair that your game goes up, too. My thing is it already has because of microtransactions. So we have to get rid of microtransactions and increase the price of the game. I'm totally cool with that. I'd love to get back to the day where I go to the GameStop and I spend $60 on my game, and then my game is it. That's it. That's everything that's in the game. It's right there, and I'm going to play that game. Instead, I feel like I go to, whatever, buy the $60 game, and then I'm like, I'll get the season pass too. I hate that I'm spending $20 on a season pass for content that I don't even know if it's going to be good or not. And a lot of times it's not, It's just a little laser dot for my Call of Duty gun. That's just silly.
I mean, your point's dead on if they get rid of some of the microtransactions because that are non-really cosmetic. But I don't see that happening. I still feel like the microtransactions are going to happen on top of the $70.
We'll have to see,
That make tons of money, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. We'll have to see.
Yeah. It comes down to the consumers being responsible. If consumers voice their opinion, which they have in the past and it has made changes, if the consumers voice their opinions and say, we will not buy any microtransactions if you guys increase the price of the game, then we'll see. That's the only way this works. Because EA's watching this all. If they could come out with a game for $10 more and continue to do their insane loot boxes that they're doing that are just beyond anybody else, they will do it. EA is one of the greediest companies out there in the gaming industry. There's just no doubt. So we'll have to see. It's going to be real interesting. I'm almost okay with it. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
All right.
But then sometimes though, real quick though, you're saying the cost of living and all this eggs, whatever, but then not everyone's salary is going up at the same time.
They should. You're right. They totally should be going up, and that's why they're having I think it's called Gamers Unite. They're trying to unionize all game developers right now, which is a whole other thing. We should do a special on that, like what that means and what their goals are and stuff like that. That might be an interesting part to talk about. That's been going on for like 2 years now. Still working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna end things off with a kind of a fun story here. Like we did that last week too. I thought it was pretty interesting. But anyways, so there's this teen, and he's a dumbass. He spent $20,000 of his mom's money on Twitch and Fortnite. So he got the card. He got the credit card, right? He plugged it in. And he's donating and he's subbing to all these different streamers and he's buying a bunch of V-Bucks. This is what happens if my nephew ever gets any kind of cash in his pocket. He just goes right to V-Bucks and I'm just like, why? See, they don't need to charge more for Fortnite. They got plenty of money from V-Bucks.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So he spends almost $20,000 in donations to various streamers. Now the mom's trying to recover the money, but so here's the problem. She went to Amazon. Amazon owns Twitch. Amazon says, you got to talk to Twitch. We're not going to handle this. Twitch is straight up not responding to her, which is so crazy. So she's trying to go to the internet to try to like get some more attention from Twitch to try to respond to her just so she could try to get some of her money back. She understands it's her fault. She totally takes the blame. Like, I should have paid more attention to my kid. But she's just trying to get some of the money back because she says, this is our life savings and it's gone now. The kid says, I don't know what age he was, but he's considered a teenager, so he probably is somewhat smart enough to understand what's going on here. But he says, I didn't understand how much money I was giving away at the time. For $20,000, you were donating like crazy. You should have come by the Geek Freaks podcast stream, and we could have talked. But so she's even gone out to speak to some of the streamers, but we don't know what the response was. She actually reached out to a couple of them, and some of the biggest streamers out there too, and Fortnite streamers. What do you think about this? Do you think Twitch's got to give some of that money back, or is it just like, hey, it's money spent?
Hell no. Okay, yeah. The teenager messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, one. I don't know how the $20 or how fast the $20,000 were spent. But if it was overtime, how are you not as a mother seeing like, oh, $1,000 missing?
It was in 16 days he spent it all.
16 days, you don't realize you're missing this much money? Yeah. That's insane. I check my money very often. Same. So for you not to even see when you got to the point of $10,000 missing?
Yeah.
How? I don't feel bad for Twitch not contacting you, really. I mean, you could just say like, hey, sorry you lost it in a way if you want, but I mean, cool. Okay, you're taking responsibility for your actions, whatever. But as a streamer yourself, you're not gonna want to. That's how you make the living. You're not gonna want to give that money back, and that's on you. And that's whatever. So honestly, I feel no remorse.
I actually 100% agree with you. Yeah, she messed up. If the kid went to Amazon and ordered a bunch of skateboards.
Yeah,
I've seen the skateboard behind you. Skateboards. Then then you know what, you're not going to get you're not going to return all those skateboards if it's over the return date. There's certain limitations to things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go to Home Depot and you buy a bunch of lumber. Guess what? You own a bunch of lumber now. It's just how it is. Yeah. And pay attention to your kid. It really sucks. And I really feel bad for her because, $20,000 is a big hit. But
think of it as us. If someone donated $1,000 to us, you're like, we're going to give that $1,000 back. Nah, I mean, click the buttons.
I probably would myself, but I totally don't blame them for not doing it. It's your livelihood. You guys still earn some, some of that money.
Yeah.
Just beat the hell out of that kid.
Yeah. Because you're saying in the span of 16 days, I don't understand how in 16 days you don't see a few $1,000s missing here and there.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Yeah, it's just.
maybe because it's coming from someone like me where I check my bank account often. So I
check mine all the time too, and especially that much. I don't know. I kind of think like if you have 20,000 sitting in the bank and you're not checking it often, I don't know. It just seems kind of crazy that you wouldn't be checking that all the time.
Yeah, I freak out. It's like, okay, where the $100 went?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna tell me you didn't notice 20 grand?
Stay off Amazon, Sarah.
Man, that kid. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Someone's doing chores for the rest of his life. There's no doubt.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's finish things off with we have 3 new reviews. Let's go ahead and go over those real quick, guys. If you guys want to hit us up on reviews on the Apple Podcast, I swear English is my first language. I promise. We'll read them on the podcast. We also put them out on Instagram. I truly appreciate them. Thank you, guys. So we have one from Unborn Virus. Cool name, bad timing. It's attention video gamers. Okay. These are all 5 stars, of course. We appreciate the 5 stars. Tune in for the pop culture talk, then stick around and listen to these guys talk about their passions for video games. If you are looking for a pod that talks about everything outside the latest releases, then look no further. You're going to hear about the companies, creators, esports, top gaming teams. We have to do an esports, but it's been a bit since we've done those. It's just because esports have been kind of dormant over the last month. That's why we haven't really been mentioning it. Top gaming teams and so much more. Definitely subscribe if you love all aspects of gaming. That kind of brings up a point that we need to kind of work on. Is we've become more of a gaming podcast than any of the other ones. I want to start talking about comic books and stuff more. We have the comic book club and stuff like that. We just haven't gotten around to it because that's kind of an in-person thing. But we'll talk about comics more. I've been purposely going out to my local comic shop trying to support them and picking up new comics. And the Negan Lives was really good. I'm gonna be picking up more. The new Walking Dead's really fun.
I want to go with you one time because I need a book in my hand because I've been reading digitally. And go. And it's like
next. Well, I mean, you can go on a Wednesday with the new releases if you're down. I'll take a Wednesday off one day. Take the Wednesday off to go to the comic book shop. Responsible adult alert. Next one is from Craft Beer with a bunch of E's in there. Great show. Enjoy this one. Easy to listen to, and it had great chemistry. I think that chemistry is between you and me. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so. I love your dog is tearing down the fence.
He is freaking out right now. It's totally time for him to go to the bathroom, I guess. He's like spazzing out. He has a Thanos and a Thanos stuffed animal. He in one day he took all the stuffing out of it. It's like, that's fantastic. That was a $12 Thanos.
He was just he's still hurt.
Yeah, he went for the head. He did better than Thor could. Next one is from EC Caitlin. It says it's titled Great Geeks. This pod helps keep me on top of all the news in the geek world and provides me with a laugh. A great pod for all those geeks out there. We appreciate those review guys. That is awesome.
Thank you.
They just totally make our day. Hey, thanks for the shout out there. Okay, so that's basically it for this week, guys. Check us out next week. Hit us up on that Audible list. So on the 15th of August, we're going to do a full review for Shadows Rising by Madeline Rowe. If you guys go to audibletrial.com/geekfreaks, it's also in the description of this podcast. You guys can join us and help support the podcast and get some soundproofing for the guys over there. And it'd be really great. So you have the audibletrial.com. We also have Discord. I promised it last week, but now it's finally fixed. Discord is also in the link. Join us on Discord. If you see nobody in there, just hang out and visit and stuff like that. You could chat and voice your opinion on things like that. Join us over at Discord. It's a really fun place to hang out, and it's usually we're there every night. Playing a game and just BSing. So come hang out with us. But that's it for this week, guys. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you for joining us on the Geek Freaks podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Freaks Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us. We have our Patreon and a store. All those links are in the description.